My name is Lucas Amory. I'm 18 years old. Right now I'm a freshman in college and I come from New York City. Currently I'm participating in the Harvard University and New England Conservatory of Music dual degree program, and I am in the studio of Ms. Hae-sun Paik, who is a pianist and a teacher at New England Conservatory. I am concentrated in music, so I do have budding interests in conducting and also music education, and I think one of my later goals in life is to find a way to provide a more accessible classical music education that doesn't just include the Western canon and make that available to all public high school students in America. I grew up in a music family first, so I think I was drawn to music just naturally, and it wasn't something I could really avoid, and I don't think I would have wanted to either. So I do remember one of the earliest musical memories. My mom, who is a violist, but she started on piano, so she knew some Debussy and Chopin from her childhood, and every night before I would go to bed, she would play me a piece by either one of those composers, and I would sit by her side and I would play some of the notes that she couldn't reach because her hands were fairly small, and I would also turn pages. And after one of those nights, I distinctly remember turning to her and saying that I did want to start learning piano, and it just sort of went from there. So what I would do every day was I would come home from school, I would practice 3 to 4 hours, and then I would have to stop. I would probably eat dinner around that time, and then I would do my homework. And it was just sort of rinse repeat for the school week. And I developed that habit of just keeping on practicing every day and just never really letting that go. And I realized that practicing was actually very remedial for me, and it was very healing. Having music just really helped me retain happiness throughout high school, even when there was a lot of stress. A classic example is, I want to say, Ludwig van Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 5, The Emperor. And this is a piece where another one where I held Leon Fleischer's recording in great esteem, also Radu Lubu's. There are a fantastic array of recordings of that piece out there. And very recently, I discovered another really amazing recording of it from a fairly little-known German pianist, Martin Helmchen. I don't know if you've heard this, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend you go check it out, because it's just the synthesis of the piano and the orchestra is just, I've never heard anything like it. The layering, the articulation, everything is just done so well. And it was just listening to that and just feeling an overpowering sense of glee and just like happiness. And that's just like getting those experiences. That's why I'm part of music. That's why I really enjoy it, and that's why I want to continue on doing it. Extraordinarily lush in places. It can get very virtuosic and brilliant at times, but I would say the predominant mood, it's a very romantic one. It's almost cliche in places, because I mean, bel canto operas. The Beethoven is primarily angry, foreboding, ominous, all of these things. I don't know if you can see my room right now. I don't have a piano on me at the moment, and I'm expecting to get a piano in a few days, but I really have not been able to get any practice in recently, just because of my position on campus. So I always love discovering new genres of music, and I have friends who are very well versed in jazz and electric fusion, so I've been sort of discovering that. And simultaneously, I've been doing a few transcriptions of my own. Right now, I'm currently transcribing Czech composer Leos Janáček's Sinfonietta for 2 pianos, and it's mirrored in the screen, so you can't see the exact notes, but I'm in the middle of the second movement right now, and that's sort of been like an ongoing project for me, just to sort of pass the time while I don't have the piano. I've only really dabbled in composing and transcriptions before, but this is something that I'm fairly committed to going through with. I do remember when I was young, I think I was actually very young. I want to say like maybe 9 or 10, and I got obsessed with Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade at that time. And I do remember I transcribed an entire movement of that for solo piano, just for one of my projects when I was younger, and it was just an extremely, that was sort of like my introduction to the world of transcription at that time. What I've been able to learn, especially over the last few months, is really like the cultural value and the healing powers of music, and the fact that so many people do love this art gives me hope that it can continue in the future and it can evolve into something even greater. And also that it makes me feel like being a musician is something that I can really use to better society.